The following program is a paid presentation from the California Elder Law Center. The information and opinions expressed herein are solely those of the California Elder Law Center and are not the opinions of K-News, Alpha Media, management, or employees.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Elder Answers. This is the show where we get together every week and we discuss the major issues facing seniors in the United States today. Hello, everybody. This is Elder Law Attorney Michael McGuire from the California Elder Law Center bringing you Elder Answers. And it's our intention every week is to bring you information that you can use, information that may supplement what you already know, information that you may not have been aware of, and to help you develop a plan that essentially gets down to how do you make sure you get the quality of care that you need and deserve and not go broke doing it. You know, over and over again, I must say, we continue to be confronted with a whole series of obstacles in our personal lives and the lives around us to try to get from here to there to be able to get quality care. There's all sorts of different agendas that are coursing through our society, and right now it's never been worse than at any time in history. I can assure you of that. The coronavirus has really turned the long-term care world upside down and on its head. There are stories that are being brought to me by our clients or people who are associated with these different organizations that are enough to make your hair stand on end. But what you need to know is that you can combat that process and make sure your little corner of the world is safe, it's secure, and it addresses the issues that are important to you. And the issues that are important to most people over the age of 65 usually fall right in the same line of sequence of importance to each and every one of those families, whether the person is single or whether the person is married. And at the California Elder Law Center, we have accumulated a lot of information both from our elder law colleagues around the country, from the estate planning colleagues here in California, from the geriatric people throughout America, having attended meetings, having obtained information that allows us to help guide you through that process. We do it because it's all part of the same process, and that typically an individual may address these issues with the thought of addressing the issue of what happens when I die. What happens where does my stuff go? Who gets what I got, and when do they get it? And that's a very important issue to all of us. It gives you the opportunity to avoid probate. It gives you the opportunity to protect a loved one, to make sure that they're taken care of the way you want them to be protected and taken care of. And it makes sure that you have a distribution plan that reflects what's really in your heart about how you want things to go. And that's what estate planning is for. Elder law, on the other hand, does all that, addresses all those issues, but adds another answer to a question that's critically important to everybody in the United States that's over the age of 65, and that's what happens if I live? What happens if I live? And the what happens if I live is by far the most expensive process that you will go through at any time, alive or dead. I can say that with some level of confidence, given what the cost of care is in the United States. Here in California, the Department of Health Care Services every year publishes what the cost of long-term care is for 1 month in a nursing home. What is the private pay rate for 1 month in a nursing home in the state of California? That would be like a skilled nursing facility. And the cost is, on average, $10,298 a month. Month in, month out, month in, month out. We recently had a lady here who's been taking care of her husband, and she has spent over the last 4 years out of her pocket $400,000. $400,000. Now, I'll be talking about her a little bit later on the show, because not only has she spent that kind of money, but you're not going to believe how she and her husband got treated at the end of his life. But what you need to know is that there's an answer. There's a path for you to follow. And it comes to you through educating yourself. My suggestion to you is to call our office 760-422-0404. 422-0404. You'll get information about attending a webinar that we will be conducting this week. We're going to be doing on a Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., but you have to pre-register by calling our office, signing up, and we will give you the passcode. It will be on Zoom. It'll be our first foray into this, and I hope it's going to be successful. We put a lot of effort into it to try to address these issues and share information with you that's meaningful. We're not just talking about sharing information with you generalities. No, we're talking about sharing information that's the accumulation of 25 years of practicing elder law here in California, about how do you protect your home and make sure they never put a lien on it, about how do you get Medi-Cal to pay for that $10,000 bill in the nursing home. If you're a veteran, how do I get my veterans benefits to help pay as much as $2,200 a month to take care of me at home or in assisted living? That's the kind of information that we want to share with you. We want you educated so that you can make quality decisions both for yourself and for your loved one. Your loved one could be your spouse, could be your husband, your wife, it could be your father, your mother, it could be your grandmother, your grandfather, aunt or uncle. So listen in, 760-422-0404. At the California Elder Law Center, we have accumulated an enormous amount of information, articles, different approaches to these kinds of issues. And there's one pattern that shows up over and over again. The pattern is this: what's important to people? What is important to average over age 65 Americans? Number one, I want to stay at home. I want to be at home as long as it's safe for me to be at home. The classic of that, however, is the reality of how our lives end in the United States. The kind of system that we have has generated the sad statistic that 80% of us, 8 out of 10, will die in an institution here in the United States. 8 out of 10. Even though our number one criteria and number one important issue to us is to be able to be in our homes. And that's simply because they didn't plan. They didn't approach this thing properly. They didn't understand how the system works and how the system can keep you alive, that's for sure, but how the system can also betray you at the last minute and trap you in an institution. The next issue that people are really worried about, as should all of us, I've already sort of alluded to it, if it costs you $10,298 a month to be in a nursing home, where exactly is that money going to come from? Do you have that kind of money? Do you have $400,000 to pay for 4 years worth of care? You know, that woman's husband was not, check this now, was not in a nursing home. He was in an assisted living facility. And at the end, the facility betrayed her husband and betrayed her. So you need to know what you're up against and how to protect yourself and to make sure that you have the quality of care that you need and deserve. Now, I will tell you this, the third thing that's important to seniors in the United States, and it comes up the same way every time, is they don't want to be a burden on their family. They don't want to be a burden on their children. They don't want to deliver their problems to their child's doorstep. They certainly don't want them paying for their care. And yet, so often, this ends up being because we weren't able to stay at home, because we had to use an institution for care, because we weren't prepared. We did use up all the money. We are a burden on our family, or there's nobody else to take care of us. And so the two questions you really need to come up with an answer to, and that's what's going to take place at the webinar. That's what's going to be the discussion. And those two questions demand an answer for you to have peace of mind and have a quality outcome. And that is, number one, is how are you going to pay for your care? Where's the money going to come from? Is it going to come from your savings? Is it going to come from your retirement fund? Are you going to be forcing your spouse to sell the home just to pay for your care? And the other issue that needs to be answered is who's going to take care of you? Who is going to take care of you? You know, there are tens of thousands of seniors in this valley all over America, but particularly in this valley, that are separated geographically from their family or literally don't have any family. It's one thing that you have 3 or 4 kids and they live in a circle of 10 miles around your house. That's sort of a back east kind of a thing, but that's not the way it works out here. Usually, our clients are separated from their nuclear family. Their daughter may live in Orange County. Their son may live in Oregon. They may have another daughter in Texas. They may have somebody in Georgia. And so what you end up with is a diverse geographic area that the caregiving children or family members are physically separated from you. They can't be here every day. They can't take you to the doctor. They can't listen to what the doctor says to interpret it for you when you have time when you get home. Who's going to pick up your prescription drugs? But it gets much worse when you start suffering from neurological diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's disease, because now who's going to supervise? Who's going to take care of you? Who deals with these issues for you? There are solutions to that, and we're going to talk about that at our webinar on Wednesday. And that's why I'm really encouraging you to go to our website or call the office, 760-422-0404, or go on the website, info.cal-elder-law at gmail.com. Send us an email. I want to be part of the webinar, and we'll get back in touch with you and give you the password and get you all set up. Now, you people need to know you need to download Zoom. That's your best bet to be ready to do this stuff. And that's the new world we live in. That's how you're going to start doing your medical stuff. And so you need to be thinking about these issues, and let's go through it. This is not going to be one of those weird things where, is it on? Is it on? We're not going to be doing that. We've actually practiced a little bit. And so we want to be able to deliver information. We want to continue our tradition of educating the public. And then we know that the public will make decisions that are who they think is best suited to take care of their needs. We've done that for 25 years, and we want to keep doing that. And the only way we can do that safely and sanely right now is with a teleconference. 760-422-0404.
Attorney Mick McGuire is now providing teleconferences. Find out more about how you can take part by visiting cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or email Mick McGuire directly at info.calelderlaw@gmail.com.
As a result of the corona crisis, the California Elder Law Center must immediately cancel all free in-person workshops. However, you realize your need for information will not stop. The California Elder Law Center is making arrangements for alternative sources of information. We are beginning a series of teleconferences, videos, and complimentary forms to help you protect yourselves and your loved ones. Avoid the expenses and delays of probate. Access long-term care benefits through the VA and Medi-Cal, protecting your home and your assets. For full details and information, please call 760-422-0404. That's 422-0404. Or go to our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or send an email to info.calelderlaw@gmail.com. info@calelderlaw.com. This is Michael McGuire, elder law attorney with the California Elder Law Center. And I'm informing you now of a perfectly free, very comprehensive webinar that will be available to you this Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, and it'll be available to you at 10 a.m. So that's Wednesday, June 24th at 10 a.m. Now, to kick this thing off, what we need you to do is to reach out to us. Your best bet is to call the office, 760-422-0404. If nobody is busy or can't answer the phone, that's okay. Leave your name, speak clearly, and leave your phone number, say it twice, and then we will get back to you and make sure that you get access to that webinar. If you want to, you can go on and send us an email at info.cal-elder, cal-elderlaw, calelderlaw@gmail.com. We'll get back to you. We'll set you up. We'll take care of it. It's our first chance of going out the door on one of these webinars. I haven't had to do a webinar in the past. They've always done our workshops, and if those of you who attended, you know it's a pretty enriching experience, and I'm hoping to try as best I can is to duplicate that experience for you. So we're going to go through that process. We're going to begin it now. We'll get better over time, and you will have the opportunity to ask some questions along the way. So remember, 422-0404, that gives you access to the webinar. Now, one of the advantages to a webinar, by the way, is if you do have your daughter living in Orange County, or you do have your son living up in Oregon or back in Texas, then they can participate and listen in as well. Many times our clients have told us they would very much wish their adult children could come into town and sit there and go through a workshop, and it's really a hard thing to do if you're just visiting for a holiday. Now they can do it. They can come in. They can participate right along with you electronically, and we can get this information downloaded to you. What's the information? Well, we cover three major topics. Now, the structure is this. First, we are attempting to draw a distinction for you between estate planning and elder law. Estate planning, what happens when I die. Elder law is what happens if I live. Between the two, which do you think is more expensive? Which do you think is more of a difficult burden on your family? Well, certainly living is the answer to that question. The second thing we want to make sure that we do after we've answered that question for you, or raise the question for you to start understanding what is ahead of you, is to explain to you why you even have a living trust, or if you don't have a trust, why you should get a trust. And you should get a trust based upon you want to accomplish one of three different things. I want to avoid probate. I don't want the expense, the time delay, the intrusion on my privacy. I don't want any of that to be delivered as a burden on my family. And we'll explain why that's true. 2 is distribution. I want to make sure that what I have goes where I want. And if I want to protect somebody in my family or my grandchildren, I can do exactly that. And 3, I don't want to have to pay estate tax. I don't want to pay a death tax. Is there a way I can avoid that? And so we're going to go through all that just as a premise to getting down to brass tacks. The 2 major programs that we discuss that are really important to you are designed to help a middle-class family, but you have to know the why, and you have to know how it applies to you. Those 2 programs are a catastrophic illness program that was signed into law in 1965. This program was designed to protect a middle-class family from being wiped out by having to incur enormous long-term care expenses that they had no provision for, and they had no way of selling without liquidating everything they own, including the roof over their head. The other program that attributes to satisfying this need is a program that accrues to veterans or, amazingly enough, the spouse of veterans. If the veteran has served during a period of war, that would be World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or the Gulf. If that's the case, if that veteran has served during one of those periods of war, then the veteran is entitled to as much as $2,200 a month tax-free to pay for their care at home, in an assisted living, in a board and care, or in a memory care unit. And so if we had that catastrophic illness coverage that many of us didn't even know we had, but we now need to know what we have to do to get. And we have the veterans benefits for those of us who did serve during a period of war, like the Vietnam War. If that's the case, then now what we have is the beginnings of starting to come up with some kind of a solution of how am I going to pay for my care. Now, during the course of participating with our webinars, you're going to have guest speakers who are going to be coming in, and you're going to be able to articulate the most important question there, which I believe is the one that you really need to have an answer to, and that's who is going to take care of me? Who is going to take care of me? And so between those 2 questions, that's what you're going to expect to get answers to when you come to the webinar. It's a process. You need to begin educating yourself, because the truth of the matter is, anybody who knows a little bit about how these government programs work is going to be far, far better off. It's not necessary for you to live in fear of having to pay $10,000 a month. It's not necessary for you to accept subpar care in your home simply because you don't have the budget that accommodates the $5,000 a month that it costs to have that kind of care in your home. You can get that. You just need to know how to go about doing it. So those are the programs we're going to be discussing, and they're all about means testing. What means testing means is they want to see your income and they want to see your assets. Now, so many of you will start off and say, well, I can't qualify. I know I don't qualify. How do you know that? Well, my barber told me that. Well, I'll tell you what, I promise I won't cut hair. You tell your barber he won't practice law. And so what's going to happen here is we're going to give you information that really cuts through the red tape. It cuts through the bureaucratic nonsense. It cuts through all the naysayers. And we're going to tell you exactly what you have to do to get that. Now, there are things that you do have to do. You do have to take action. You do have to protect yourself. You do have to protect your spouse. And you do have to give some thought to protecting your children if that's your wishes. If you don't have any children, if you don't have a spouse, you need to focus 110% on yourself, because people out here especially get sucked up into the system, and the system has no accommodation for you if you don't have somebody there. Now, they say they do, but what you get is not what you want. I will guarantee you that. And you should also know something. We have clients that go all the way from Beaumont and Banning out to Blythe. We have clients that go all the way down to Brawley and El Centro. They're in Borrego Springs. They're in Salton City. We have clients out in Blythe. We have clients at everywhere in between. And we have clients of every different economic strata, believe me. And we have a way to accommodate everybody when it comes to their budget as far as what they can afford to do and what they need to do. Some of you already have a trust. You may only need certain parts of it to be changed in order to be effective. Others of you really need to get down to brass tacks and put something in place to protect your home from a lien, to make sure that you're going to be able to access care when the time comes and you can't do it yourself. That's really what this is all about. Information makes you powerful. Information is what's going to make you the person who gets things taken care of and for, as opposed to the person who just gets sucked up into the system and basically disappears from the neighborhood. That's not what you want. Nobody deserves that. When you pick up the phone and call 422-0404, 42204, whether you're in Yucca Valley or 29 Palms or Landers or Joshua Tree, whether or not you're in La Quinta, whether or not you're in Palm Desert or Palm Springs or Cat City, wherever you're at in Indio or Coachella, you owe it to yourself to sit in on one of these webinars. Now, we used to have our meetings over at the Hampton Inn, as you all know, for years on Wednesdays. But now we're going to have to go to a whole different way of doing business, and you have to go to a whole different way of learning, because that's all that takes place at the webinar. It's just information for you. There's no sales pitch. There's nothing to sign up for. None of that stuff is going on. What's going on is we are going to impart 25 years of experience for you, so you'll have a working understanding of where to begin in this process. You can either reach us through our email, info.cal-elder-law@gmail.com. If that's not working for you, call 760-422-0404. Wednesday is the time. Your computer hookup to the internet is the place. I love having my workshops. I can't do that anymore. What I can do, though, is through the webinar is teach an old dog new tricks. That's me, to be able to deliver information to my clients or my friends in the Valley. That's you. And that information has, over the years, saved people literally tens of millions of dollars in long-term care expenses that were never had to be a burden on that family. But there's something more important to this. Not only does it get you out from the burden of having to spend the money and go broke, but it shows you the tricks and the path to make sure you get better care. You can upgrade the quality of your care if you know how the system works. And no, you don't have to allow somebody working for the county or the state or the VA dictate your future. You can take control of that situation yourself. You just have to know how the system works in order for it to yield up everything you want. And what you want is quality, long-term care, primarily in the safety and the dignity of your home. If that's not going to work because of circumstances that have befallen you, you fell down, you broke a hip, you had a stroke, you had some terrible malaise that has caused you to need a higher level of care, you are not going to be destroyed financially if you have addressed this stuff ahead of time. Now, what has complicated this completely is that we've had crisis planning for years, that's for sure, but now we are really limited in trying to do it in crisis based upon COVID-19. You need to address this stuff ahead of time to get the outcome that you want and the care that you need and deserve.
Attorney Mick McGuire is now providing teleconferences. Find out more about how you can take part by visiting cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or email Mick McGuire directly at info.calelderlaw@gmail.com.
As a result of the corona crisis, the California Elder Law Center must immediately cancel all free in-person workshops. However, you realize your need for information will not stop. The California Elder Law Center is making arrangements for alternative sources of information. We are beginning a series of teleconferences, videos, and complimentary forms to help you protect yourselves and your loved ones. Avoid the expenses and delays of probate. Access long-term care benefits through the VA and Medi-Cal, protecting your home and your assets. For full details and information, please call 760-422-0404. That's 422-0404. Or go to our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or send an email to info.calelderlaw@gmail.com. info@calelderlaw.com. So this is Michael McGuire with the California Elder Law Center. From now on, we're going to be posting times and dates as far as these webinars are concerned. And we'll be posting them on our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. Now, why this is so significant is that for those of you that live up in the high desert, out to Landers and 29 Palms, down, I've had people in Wonder Valley, I have clients in Joshua Tree and Yucca Valley. You will be able to attend the webinar without having to make the trek down the hill to come to a workshop. It's not as ideal, but it's much, much better than what we did before. We will be able to do your consultations the same way, by the way, if you decide that you want us to take a look at your situation individually. For those of you in Beaumont and Banning, you really need to be telling each other that this is now available, because it's going to save you the drive, but that's going to give you the information. Finally, you people out there are going to get the full story. Finally, you are going to be protected, and you're going to be able to protect yourselves. It doesn't do you any good to have a trust or durable power of attorney that doesn't work in the world of elder law. And the reason for that is that if you have to come up with $10,000 a month, you're going to be really, really wishing that you had the right paperwork at the time so that you or your family can be powerful and can be in charge of protecting you. If you're down in Brawley and El Centro, there's a lot of dangerous stuff going on down there right now. If you're in Borrego Springs, you understand that the issues facing you are that you have to get to quality care as quickly as you can. If you're in Blythe, or if you're in Salton City, if you're in Desert Shores, you need to understand that you have to take action, and you have to be aware of where to go and how to get there and what you have to do when you do. It's one thing to have a lifestyle that takes you to a different kind of a community that may be more rural and off the beaten path, and that's wonderful. It doesn't work so good when you need quality of care and you need $10,000 a month to pay for it. We can show you how you can go about doing that. Now, what has to happen is you have to get yourselves educated. That's why we've always done these free workshops. That's why we have bent over backwards giving you free information. Free information. Let me give you a quick example. So many people have these different myths that they're stuck with, that their hairdresser told them or their next door neighbor told them. And when I ask them, well, who told you that kind of stuff? It's like, my cousin who owns a muffler shop, his next door neighbor's aunt who lives in Lawndale said. That's not a good source of information. That is not a good source of information. Let me give you an idea. How many times have you heard that you cannot get Medi-Cal to pay for that $10,000 nursing home bill without giving up your house? You have to give up your house first. That is incorrect. In fact, your house doesn't count. It doesn't count towards you qualifying. And if you have protected it properly with a protector trust, it means that the state of California cannot put a lien on your house either. It also means that if you've handled it properly and you did want to sell the house, you can keep the proceeds of the sale of your house. Now, you need to know how this all works. You need to know how you can take advantage of this situation for your own benefit and the quality of your care. That's what this is all about. Upgrading the quality of your care, being in an institution that you want to be in, and then supplementing your care while you are in that institution. Did you know that if you owned an IRA account, a retirement account, a 403B account, a 401k, it does not count. It does not count towards you qualifying for Medi-Cal. That's right. I've had clients that had close to $1 million in a retirement account that was tax qualified. That's like an IRA. And they were able to keep that money because that is an exemption underneath Medi-Cal's rules. Now, there are many, many exemptions. People say, well, if I transfer it, there's a 5-year look-back period. I had somebody came in here this past week and said, I heard there's a 7-year look-back period. I have no idea what elf you were listening to or talking to, but no, there is no 7-year look-back period. In California, no, there's no 5-year look-back period. There's a 2.5-year look-back period in California. And you just need to know what that look-back period is and how it applies to you. Look-back means what? I gave something away. I transferred something, and I did not get anything back. It was a gift, and I did it in order to qualify for Medi-Cal, and that would constitute a penalty. If I gave that money away, I would be penalized. I will not get benefits. There are, however, a whole slew of different strategies and rules that permit you to transfer legally those assets and protect them. And why would you want to do that? Well, you'll hear all this business about, well, they're just trying to save it for the kids. They want to make sure they save their legacy. They don't want to pay their fair share. That's all hogwash. That's all hogwash, and it's an insult to you. The truth of the matter is that you want to be able to supplement your care even if you are in a nursing home. You want to have individualized care that is focused on you and making sure you're safe, you're clean, you're well fed, you got your meds on time, that you got some exercise, that you went outside and got a little fresh air and some sunshine. All the things that add up to the quality of your life that you're going to have to pay for out of pocket. And that's why we save your money for you and protect you and make sure your family knows you're getting great care. It's very easy for government agencies to pretend like you're trying to rob the bank, for crying out loud. But sometimes we have to remind them, hey, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but the fact that you are funding this program and that, oh, that's right, that you have a job and a retirement is because I have been a taxpayer and have been paying into the system. And as a result, you have to understand that I, as a taxpayer and a citizen of California, am entitled to certain ways of being treated and certain applications of statutory laws that protect me and my family when it comes to long-term care. Now, the process of using Medi-Cal means that if it's a single person, you have to be aware you can only have $2,000 in assets in your name. But you know what? You can deal with that because that money can be protected. Everything over $2,000 can be protected legally. Keep your house, keep your retirement account, you can keep a car, you can keep all your household furnishings, you can have a little bit of life insurance, you can have a prepaid burial plan. So there's lots of different ways that you can protect your money and still have a great outcome. And you're going to have significantly better care than the person next to you who's paying the $10,000 a month and isn't getting a whole lot for it. Believe me. And so the reality is that knowing how these programs work gives you the advantage, gives you the upper edge as far as making sure you get the quality of care that's going to make all the difference for you or for your loved one. Our role in this is started off being really focused on the money. At $10,000 a month, you can imagine there was a lot of interest in what we do and how we help families. But over the years, we've discovered, and especially out here in the Coachella Valley, how important it is to have some kind of resources for you that deal with the issue of who's going to take care of me, who is going to take care of me, to be able to sort of extend out your family, your children who don't live here but are so concerned about your care. But they have jobs, they have careers, they have families. They can't drop everything and come out here. Well, we do have a nurse practitioner. We do have relationships with care providers that are focused on you. We work together in a very holistic fashion to come up with a program that will really, really satisfy your needs, satisfy the needs of your loved one, and help you avoid going broke doing it. Now, some things you do have to pay for out of pocket and some things you don't. The idea, though, is that you're not looking down the barrel of $10,000 a month, or you're not looking down the barrel of the minute that person passes away, they slap a lien on your house and you lose everything that you thought was going to be a legacy for your children. You don't have to do that. In creating these different programs, the government knew exactly what it was doing. This is not a loophole. They wrote the laws, not seniors wrote the laws. That's not what happened. They wrote the laws themselves. This is controlled first through the federal government, through the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Department of Human Health Services. And so these programs are well defined. They know exactly what they're doing, but each state gets to have their own Medicaid program if that's what they want within certain restrictions. Here in California, we have a very shortened look-back period. A penalty period is really what it should be called. And that penalty period is only 2.5 years. Even better, we have rules here in California that permit you to transfer funds into a safe harbor in order for you to supplement the cost of your care, to upgrade the quality of your care. We have laws here in California that say somebody has worked all those years to build up a retirement account, an IRA account, a 401k account. That didn't happen overnight. That took years. We are not going to force that person to sell that, liquidate that, and use it. We're going to allow them to keep their retirement account because that may be absolutely necessary for the well-being and the care of their spouse. Or it may be something they've worked so hard for and contributed for the last 30 years that it would be grossly unfair to make them cash it in, take a huge tax cut, and then what was left got sucked up by paying for some corporate owner of a nursing home somewhere. Now, it's not that we are more clever than anybody else. It's not that we have the ability to have a crystal ball and see how things are going to come out in the future. I will tell you why it is we're so effective at the California Elder Law Center. We work really hard. We work really hard. We never give up. We are absolutely tenacious about protecting your rights and to make sure they do right by you. The counties out here in this part of the state, we've had issues with them, and we have resolved those issues by educating those county workers to what the real law says, and it's worked out good for everybody. In fact, there are a lot of people probably in Riverside, San Bernardino County that are being treated differently today based upon the efforts that we put in protecting our clients. And that's okay. That's okay by me. And that should be comforting to you to know that you got somebody with the experience dealing with this stuff on your side.
Attorney Mick McGuire is now providing teleconferences. Find out more about how you can take part by visiting cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or email Mick McGuire directly at info.calelderlaw@gmail.com.
As a result of the corona crisis, the California Elder Law Center must immediately cancel all free in-person workshops. However, you realize your need for information will not stop. The California Elder Law Center is making arrangements for alternative sources of information. We are beginning a series of teleconferences, videos, and complimentary forms to help you protect yourselves and your loved ones. Avoid the expenses and delays of probate. Access long-term care benefits through the VA and Medi-Cal, protecting your home and your assets. For full details and information, please call 760-422-0404. That's 422-0404. Or go to our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or send an email to info@calelderlaw@gmail.com. info@calelderlaw.com. So this is Michael McGuire at the California Elder Law Center. You're listening to Elder Answers, and what we're doing today is talking to you about coming to our new webinar. 760-422-0404. 422-0404. It'll be on Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. Call, send us an email at info@cal-elder-law@gmail.com, info.cal-elder-law@gmail.com, and we'll give you all the details and get you signed up. We have to give you the password to get into the webinar. It's a simple deal. We'll try to make it as painless as possible for you. This is our first one, so wish us luck. What we're talking about is that, there are a lot of people who suffer from misconceptions about Medi-Cal. It's even worse with the Veterans Administration, if you want to know the truth. The VA has a program. The VA has a program in which you can get $2,200 a month tax-free for the rest of your life based upon a series of criteria. The program is called Aid in Attendance, and the program works like this. Did you serve one day during a declared period of war? Those periods of war are World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or the Gulf. They are well defined. We have that information for you. Just one day. You did not have to be in combat. You had to be in uniform active duty. 90 days consecutive active duty. 90 days consecutive active duty. If you have met that criteria, then you go to the next checklist. The next checklist would be a physician signs off that you need help with 2 of the activities of daily living. Those activities would include bathing, getting out of bed, dressing, toileting, food preparation, transferring out of a chair, taking your meds, or you're suffering from a cognitive issue like dementia, have a lack of capacity, or you're legally blind. All those things add up to what could be access to that $2,200 a month. Now, amazingly enough, this benefit also accrues to the spouse of a veteran. Now, they could be a couple, and that it's the spouse of the veteran who needs the care. It could be a widow or surviving spouse, and it's that person who will get the money. Not as much, they'll get less, but they will get money, tax-free money. And that money can be used for care in your home, some circumstances in independent living, certainly in an assisted living, in a board and care or a memory care unit. So yes, you could be in a memory care unit, and you could be receiving a check for $2,200 a month to help pay for that care. Now, that's not going to pay for being in a memory care unit, but it's certainly going to make it easier for your family to negotiate the financial burden of the care. And that's what we're trying to do. Relieve your kids, your family, your spouse of the burden. At the same time, we want to make sure you're getting the quality of care that you need and deserve. The Veterans Administration has a program for a select group of vets that's exactly for that. We're going to discuss all that at the workshop that we have at the webinar that'll be on Zoom this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Call 422-0404, 422-0404, and get the full details. Now, what's going to happen at that webinar is we're going to go through and try to duplicate as best we can what we've always done for the last 25 years at our workshops. It drives me crazy when you watch these attorneys out there trying to impress you by they know all the vocabulary, they know all the legal terms. It's even more depressing to see people who are not attorneys who are taking on the burden of advising you as far as what you should be doing with your estate planning and leaving a swath of destruction in their wake because they don't care and they didn't know. And they're allowed to do that legally here in California, amazingly enough. And so what you deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. You need more than that. And that's what we take care of when we start the ball rolling for you and give you all that free information on the webinar. Now, with that information in hand, now you can make a good quality decision for yourself. You know, when you use the non-attorney services, they're not supposed to give you any advice whatsoever. All they're supposed to do is sit there and take orders from you. And of course, how could that possibly be the case if you don't know anything about estate planning? And so they are constantly telling people things that really are inaccurate. And it could cost you literally millions of dollars. Now, I know that's a crazy thing to say, but we've actually got a case right now where somebody did end up with a situation in which it's cost them hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars because it was done wrong by one of these non-attorney services that purport to know what they're doing as far as estate planning is concerned. You know, can you imagine taking your car to a garage and the guy says, no, I'm not going to look at it, but I'll sell you a carburetor? Most people that come here have problems with their carburetor. I'll sell you a carburetor. That's sort of what you're getting. You deserve so much better than that. You deserve much better. Your family deserves better than that. The last one we saw, they gave all the money away to wrong people. Instead of giving it to the brother and sister, they gave it to 8 nieces and nephews because they didn't know what they were doing. They did the typing wrong. Now, it does get technical doing this kind of work, and that's why you want to have somebody that's done it before. You want somebody that understands how it works. You want somebody that can help you. You do want help, don't you? What you really want is information. You want information so that you can make a quality decision for you and your family. And so you can avoid probate. You do not need to suffer probate, but first you need to know what probate is and how it works and how it impacts you. You need to know the power of probate, and you need to know that it may or may not be the appropriate tool for you. The vast majority of middle-class Californians would rather avoid probate, the expense, the delay, and you should too, because the alternative, a trust, a revocable trust, is so powerful and so successful in not only avoiding probate, but controlling the distribution of your estate, so that when the time comes, you can protect not just your children, but your grandchildren, anybody you want. You can favor a charity if that's what you want. And you can use that if the right trust has been created, or if you have an old trust, it has been changed and amended so that it is now prepared to answer the question of what happens if I live. Can your documents permit somebody to create a new trust for you to protect your funds? Does it have the power to move forward and create that trust and transfer those funds? Does it have the power to address the issues that you're going to need as far as your personal care is concerned, where you're being cared for, how you're being cared for? And so all this blends in together with an absolute airtight safety net for you so that you can, A, stay in your home as long as it's safe, B, avoid going broke, and C, the exact opposite of being a burden on your family. Instead, if you do the documents right, you can be a godsend to your family so that they can help you out. They can do it. And they can use the guidance of different resources as far as care in your home or care, monitoring your care wherever you're at. Now, it does take you educating yourself just a bit and getting prepared. If you have a trust now, you may be changing it. If you have a doorbell power now, you may be replacing it. And so there's really an approach that meets everybody's budget in this process, depending upon what their needs are. We've gone to great lengths to make sure that you can not be denied what you're entitled to simply because you didn't want to make the decision to spend a few bucks low those many years ago. We can get you where you have to go within your budget, and we can get you the highest level of care with the highest quality of preparation, being prepared to have other people do it for you. Over the years, it's been my experience that what really people need is a place to go when they have a question. They need a place to go back to, because today we're doing it, I'm planning, but tomorrow I need. And so it's not me, it's my children, it's somebody else. It's my sister, my uncle, my grandmother. And so what ends up happening here is everybody has a place to come back to at the California Elder Law Center. They can participate now they can participate in a webinar, which is wonderful. If somebody's up in Seattle, or you have a child that's over in Texas or out in Georgia, now they can sit in and start to educate themselves and make themselves a much better caregiver for you, because now they understand what the deal is. They can participate in protecting you. And you can live not with anxiety, but with anticipation that you have prepared yourself and your family in the event that you need help. Is there a chance that you may need help? Well, the statistics are that 70% of us, 7 out of 10 of us, are going to need some kind of long-term care in our lives. We live so much longer, we live better, but we live deep into our 80s, into our 90s now, especially ladies. And as a direct result of that, we need to be prepared about how we're going to handle all that. How are we going to handle all that? And the answer is we're going to handle that by being prepared, by having put some thought into it, and sit down and say, this is what I want it to look like. This is how I want to be treated. I don't want to be lost in the shuffle. I don't want to be stuck in a small, miserable little nursing home in an outlying community when I should be in a facility that's more attuned to what my needs are here in the Coachella Valley. The California Elder Law Center has always been dedicated to delivering information. Information that you need, information that you can use. We are firm believers and dedicated to the proposition, if we provide you with the information, you will have the ability and the foresight to make the decision that's in your best interest. Whether that decision is today or tomorrow, that's your choice. What I do know, having done this for 25 years, is that each and every one of us needs to think about this and begin the process of educating themselves so that they're prepared. This is Michael McGuire with the California Elder Law Center. Looking forward to seeing you at our first webinar, 760-422-0404. Until next time, I'll see you then.